welcome everybody back to the Super Happy Hour, which is the happiest 30 minutes in health, where science meets real talk and, of course, a touch of REM-induced magic. I'm Robert Greer.
I'm Dr. Anna Toker, your friendly neighborhood colorectal surgeon, enjoying my vodka
And
wine.
we've got our wine, we've got our Modelo in the spirit of being in El Paso. Giddy up. And of course, since our topic is talking about better sleep, you can grab your chamomile tea, you can get comfy, and of course, settle in, because tonight's episode, we're going to be diving into your dreams.
Yes.
And one more specifically, how to get there faster and stay there longer.
Yep. Sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. So we're going to be talking a little bit about, does it work? Is it just hype? Can a patch really help you hit that REM cycle without counting sheep?
Yes. Yes and yes, and I'll explain all the science. Let's go.
There we go. So stick around, everybody.
Yeah.
And because we are going to start breaking this thing down, talking about the science, side effects, and of course, brutally honest, super happy score. So Dr. Toker, here we go.
Yes, sir.
All right. So so first thing is REM, right? And when we talk about REM, rapid eye movement, a lot of people say, I have an understanding that, to get a good night's sleep, you have to get into REM. And maybe not everyone knows that you can actually go in and out of REM multiple times through the night. Yep. And you can get there within 90 minutes. So, it's not something that you hit at the very tail end of your sleep. You can actually get there within 90 minutes. And we're going to talk a little bit about how the Super Patch does that. Yep. So what's important to know about REM?
When you sleep, there are 4 cycles of sleep, and REM is that 4th cycle. So the sleep stages get sort of deeper and deeper and deeper, and they're preparing you for this REM cycle. You have to experience REM in order to feel rested when you wake up. However, it is the one time of sleep where your body has the most activity. That's the irony of it, right? So it is not as deep a level of sleep as stage 3, where like you are comatose for all that, like someone needs a mirror underneath your nose to make sure you're still breathing. Whereas REM, you're actually kind of twitching around. This is when you're having vivid dreams. It's like the puppy who's chasing the rabbit, that's REM sleep, and it is critical to people who are constantly waking up in the night. A lot of times are waking up before they can get into REM sleep, which is why they are unrested. Whereas
they wake up exhausted.
They wake up exhausted, even though they've been technically not moving for most of the evening, but they never got into REM. So a normal person will go through all of those stages of sleep multiple times a night. There are some people, and I guess it's a blessing, they get into REM very rapidly, and those people don't seem to need much sleep. If you've ever known someone who 4 hours of sleep is all they need. Yeah.
That's me. If I can get there, I'm like 6, but even 4, 4 to 5, but 6 to 7 is my sweet spot.
If you can get into REM, right? So,
right. But if I don't, I do. I can sit there and go, hey, I slept 8 hours. I got to get it up, but I'm tired.
That's exhausted. And so anyway, so REM is critically important. And it is organized by the central aspect of your brain. So when you are sleeping, there's an organized pathway in your brain, and it starts with an amino acid called adenosine. And adenosine is what makes you tired. And if you take caffeine blocks the effects of adenosine. So it can be very hard to fall asleep if you have a lot of caffeine on board, because there's no place for the little adenosines to turn on the sleepy time button.
That's right.
Caffeine doesn't give you energy, but it blocks your ability to sleep.
Right. I'm exhausted, but I'm awake.
But yeah, that sucks so bad. And of
right?
course, all of us in healthcare, or if you're a paramedic or a doc or a pilot or somebody who's moving around a lot, you know that sensation. You slam some caffeine to make it through your workday, and it's still hanging on, and shit, you gotta sleep because you got a big day tomorrow. So that happens to a lot of people. And ultimately in these talks, Rob, we're going to cover how Super Patch can kind of get you out of that cycle, both on the sleepy time side and the wakey time side. And we'll talk about that. But
Boost, because it's
boost,
going to be
it's going to be,
replace the caffeine with the boost.
yes, with the boost. Yeah. So the central aspect of your brain, the hypothalamus, is going to interact. There's a little organ right in the middle of your brain called the pineal gland. The pineal gland senses light. And when that pineal gland sees blue wavelength light, it says it's awake. Now, in the modern world, everything around us, especially LED lights, are blue wavelength. So if you live in a house that has nothing but LED lights, you could have a hard time sleeping because your pineal gland is constantly firing off.
Right. Hence the glasses that they sell, which are blue light blockers.
100%.
And that's why they
Get a
say
real life
they go put the phone down before you go to bed. Put the phone down, because you're literally switching on
your pineal gland.
Your gland to then go, I'm supposed to be up.
Correct. Exactly. So then in the hypothalamus, there is also a part of the brain that is going to take tryptophan and turn it into melatonin. A lot of that happens in your microbiome, which is kind of how gut health helps you sleep proper. So all these things have to happen in a very organized fashion. There's a lot of different ways to get you thrown off. And there are some people who are doing everything right. They got the melatonin, they're blocking their blue light, they're sleeping in a dark room, they're cozy, they're comfortable, and they still can't enter into REM. And some of that is because the hypothalamus and the amygdala all have to, these are parts of the brain that have to coordinate in a cyclical fashion. And if for whatever reason that's not organized, then you can't sleep. This is all part of what we call the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest part of your nervous system, and you have no control over it. You can't force yourself to fall asleep. Right? It's beyond your control. Your brain is in charge of all that, which is why we call it the autonomic nervous system. So autonomic nervous system means it happens automatically.
That's right.
And
you can't control it.
You can't control it.
You can't shut it down.
You can't. Sympathetic is the one that makes you fight. The fight or flight. So if
that's the
action movie. You watch an action movie, you get stuck in traffic, you go work out. All of those things stimulate this fight or flight.
Right.
And while you're in the sympathetic pathway, you can't sleep. So sleeping requires parasympathetic control. So you need to be in that parasympathetic space, the resting, digesting space. And in the modern world, that is very difficult to do, because everything is so kind of designed to stress you out. So that's kind of what's happening.
Everything's you're getting bombarded.
And your brain is constantly going, well, tomorrow I have to do that, and that, and then that motherfucker today cut me off, and then traffic. That's all going on in your mind when you're trying to sleep. And that's keeping you in sympathetic. And you need to steer yourself to the parasympathetic. Now, in medicine, you can always give someone drugs that sedate them. And the problem with sedative type drugs is they can be addicting, number one. Number two, they can hang you over.
Yeah.
Number three, they don't always work. And now you're groggy and you can't sleep. That's a big problem. And so, and then Ambien, that's when you get the weird sleepwalking on the airplane. When people act weird and they make the viral reels on the airplanes, are all Ambien. Don't
100%. 100%. I had a box of air filters show up at my house one time.
Yeah. People gain weight when they take Ambien, actually, because they get up in the middle of the night and they
gourd.
They do. Sometimes they're found naked, sleepwalking in the street. It's like Ambien's
Yeah. Yeah, it's a dangerous drug.
Yeah, you gotta have
that is a dangerous drug.
Yeah, you're gonna have to leash yourself to the home and have a babysitter because you are not in control of your facilities when you're on Ambien.
That
Okay.
don't answer the door.
Do not answer the door. No, you do not. So anyways, so the medical answer to sleeplessness is not always the best one. And especially if you are like me and my husband, we're doctors, we can be called at any moment to go into the hospital. And which is why you can't do a sleeping
Yeah,
medicine.
you cannot. You cannot. You cannot.
And when you're on call, you can't even have a drink. I mean, it's like there's no sedating yourself when you are on call. And in my practice, I don't have any partners. I'm always on call.
Right.
So I cannot take flu medicine. I limit myself at a half a drink just because I never know when I'm going to get called in the hospital. So, anyways, so there is a role for non-medical intervention. And if you've ever seen some of these apps, like the iPhone has these apps, and we call this in medicine biofeedback. And I'm sure a lot of people have heard those words, but all it is it's hooked to like your pulse or your breathing rate. And they get you to see like a little cartoon or like the little, on your iPhone, it goes like that,
Yeah.
Take
I mean, they have the green noise. They have they have a different, devices that you turn on that start to try to get you to just
calm down,
calm
right?
down
And
and
then you are supposed to interact with some of these devices to slow down your breathing and slow down your pulse. When your breathing is slow and your pulse is slow, you are now entering into the rest and digest, the parasympathetic state. The problem is when you fall asleep, you're no longer looking at a biofeedback little device that tells you to calm down. You're trying to sleep, which is why for sleep, they have all these ancillary things. Something that cools the sheet down. It senses that you're getting warm, so it controls your body temperature, and maybe another one that will control some of the light in the room to different wavelengths that sort of promote sleep. And so those devices you really can't travel with a lot of them. They're very, very, very expensive. But the whole purpose of those devices is just to keep you in this restful state.
right.
You want to be in a restful state. So
get you there and keep you there, right?
Get you there and keep you there. So how do we get there and stay there if I don't have a lot of money? I travel all the time. And I don't want to have to be awake to constantly interact and count how many times a minute I'm breathing and stuff like that. Like you would normal for like the Apple Watch where it like keeps track of your pulse and you're supposed to breathe slow and lower your pulse and all. You can't do that in the middle of the night. And this is where Super Patch comes in because it is biofeedback, but the type of biofeedback where you don't have to be consciously aware. It's an autonomic biofeedback. So your brain is constantly interacting with the technology on the sticky side of that patch. So you put that patch on your skin, and if it's making complete contact with the skin, it is sending a signal from your skin through a sensory nerve, through the back of your spinal cord. Yep. Back of your spinal cord goes to the thalamus, to the hypothalamus, to the amygdala, to the pineal gland to start organizing this REM sleep. And it uses that patch like a touchstone, so to speak, right? So the patch is constantly talking to the brain. That way the brain knows, oh, parasympathetic. Oh, okay. Got to stay in parasympathetic. And it's doing that for the length that you have this patch on. Now, what's interesting is you can wake up in the parasympathetic state. So if you have to pee, you can wake up. If the phone rings, you can wake up. The difference is because your brain is keeping you parasympathetic, when you lay down after answering that phone, you fall right back to sleep because you're in that state. You're not going to be all groggy and stuff like that. And honestly, when I was traveling recently, and this thing is clutch when traveling, I left it on. I woke up, I had breakfast, I walked around, I wasn't sleepy at all until I got on an airplane and all of a sudden I'm unconscious. And I thought, why did
Right.
I fall asleep so quickly? Because I had a good night's sleep. And it was because I was still wearing my patch. I had to peel my patch off.
Whoops.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But you
But
can
I
function
was
on it.
totally functional. I was totally functional. We got
You have to, so you have to be in a state where
correct.
you're rest, where you're
Yes.
stopping, you're paused, you're
Yeah.
relaxed. You know, it's
And
not
it's the
gonna,
environment. And you're
you're
trying
not
to
gonna fall asleep. You're not
no,
gonna fall asleep on the way to the bathroom or
no,
fall
no.
asleep sitting there eating your breakfast.
No,
That's
you're
not
not
gonna
gonna
happen.
yeah. No, you're not gonna fall asleep in the taxi. You're not gonna fall asleep while you're driving. And you're not going to feel sleepy. So, and that's what's important when people first use it. They'll put it on. We tell people an hour before you go to bed, put it on. That way we know it's doing the parasympathetic thing. You're not going to be groggy or sleepy. And there's some people who will just sit there and watch TV waiting to feel sleepy to fall asleep. That's not how you're going to fall asleep. You need to
You
say,
still
it's
gotta get in position,
yeah,
right?
you got to tell your brain it's bedtime, and you got to brush your teeth and turn off the light. And is your
And
alarm set for the next
turn
day?
the
Turn the
TV
lights
off.
off. Turn the TV off.
So let's pause for a second. Let's just talk about the number of people that fall asleep with the TV
Yeah,
on.
yeah, that's like the kiss of death.
Like, I
Can't
mean,
do it.
like my cousin, it's
Yeah,
you're not, you're just literally fighting.
yes,
You're
constantly.
fighting against not having a good night's sleep.
Yes, exactly.
I finally got my parents, or at least my dad, to shut it down,
Yeah,
turn it off,
yeah,
get in position,
yes,
okay? Sleep
yeah.
position, all right?
Yes, exactly. And you want a dark room and you want a cool room with just the right amount of blankets. And it can be difficult because as you sleep, your body will naturally try to heat up and cool off and whatnot. And this is where those fancy schmancy mattresses that can adjust according to your body temperature. I mean, I don't have that kind of money. A lot of people don't. But that's why they have them. So you're not awakened by the fact that you're kind of hot and sweaty or you're too
Right.
cold.
Or you go right, right.
It keeps the temperature perfect. That way, those little external stimuli don't wake you up. Now, if you're wearing a
We
REM,
could move to Hawaii.
yes. Why? What would happen? I would love Hawaii. That'd be fantastic.
It's about the perfect weather.
Well, no matter what, right? And then you can have the windows open, not worry about it. So anyway, so the beauty of this patch is that it is functioning using a technology that most of us kind of understand, which is that biofeedback, like meditation or deep breathing or prayer or any kind of yoga somnolence, where you are literally slowing down,
Right.
purposefully relaxing.
Right.
This patch does all of that without you having to know how to meditate or yoga or be, if you're ADD like me and you're constantly thinking about something, it'd be hard to enter into that sort of a state. Which is why this patch is awesome because it kind of forces you into that state without you being an expert at being quiet and settled. Some people can just get quiet and settled easily.
Right.
Some people, it takes years of mastery to learn how to do that. And then if you're like me, who's always on the go, then you use a super patch, and it's a pretty inexpensive way to sort of get into that state of mind. That way, when you lie down, you just kind of fall asleep. And if my phone rings in the middle of the night and it's the hospital, it's not a big deal. I just get up and go. So you don't have that hangover effect. There's no
Right.
drugs, there's no contraindication, and you can use it at any age. We do caution if you have a very small child or someone with special needs who likes to chew or bite or pick, you might want to put these patches in a place where they can't reach. And the company suggests, yes, between the shoulder blades is usually what we suggest, but some really crafty people can get back there. So a tight t-shirt between the shoulder blades, or just don't use it in that patient population. So the company says don't use it in children. There's no contraindication other than that. It's a piece of plastic and it's a choking hazard. So as long as you understand this is a choking hazard when it's not fixed to your skin. So don't put it someplace a young person or someone with special needs who picks is going to peel it off and decide they're going to eat it. That would be the only contraindication. to the patches. So it's a fascinating topic.
It is. It is.
Mhm.
So what, I think they've got a couple of studies out there,
They do.
and what was the endpoint? What did they notice? What did they recognize?
Yeah, so their study, and it may have been at a University of Miami, maybe, or Arizona. I can't remember who. It's a university study. It is a double-blinded study. That's one of the other things I like about this company is that their studies are real. They're not like calling people up and what'd you think? They
Right.
did a scientific
Right.
study,
Right.
and they had patients.
Active patch, sham, right?
Yes.
Non-active, active,
Yes, so
non-active.
placebo controlled. It's a double-blinded study, which means some of the people, everyone is wearing a patch. Some of those patches are working. Some of those patches are fake, and the patient has no idea. They are wearing those patches every night for a 2-week period of time, and then they're keeping track of how fast they fell asleep and how long they stayed asleep.
Mhm.
So the end point at the end of 2 weeks, those patients fell asleep 40% quicker and stayed asleep 40% longer.
Which
And
is
then, of course,
huge.
was
Huge.
huge.
Would
And
have
then
been
when you
longer.
ask them, yeah, and then of course, length of sleep means nothing if you don't go into REM. So then you do have to ask some kind of subjective questions like, how do you feel? Are you rested? Did you dream? Did you whatever? And so patients wearing the patches had a much more quality sleep. So in addition to went to bed sooner, slept longer, higher quality sleep.
Well,
And
one of the other things that came out from that particular study was the patients that were in the active group,
yes,
they did more activities. They did more outside activities. So that led
inner,
to them doing yoga. They,
yeah,
did a a sport
yeah,
event,
yeah,
walking
more active.
activity, went to the
Yeah,
gym. So
yeah.
they're better rested, which means I'm going to go do something in the evening. Because I mean, if you think about it, if you have a day job and you don't have a good night's sleep, you struggle to get through the day job. You go, I
Yeah.
want to go to the gym, or I want to go play
On
pickleball,
beat.
or I want to go do something. And then you get home, and then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm done. I can't.
By the time you eat dinner
I'm
and
gonna
do
try to.
the
I'm gonna try to reset. I'm gonna try to do it again.
yeah,
Again tonight.
tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna go.
Yeah.
We're gonna go tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the story of everyone's life, right? And so, yeah, they were more active. The other thing that was interesting in that study, the second half of the study, they took the people who were on the little sham patches and then switched them out to real patches. And all of a sudden, they were getting better sleep and getting more active and whatnot. So the statistical analysis on that was there is no other explanation other than that patch worked.
Right.
So it was a well done study, placebo controlled, and there's a lot of other quote unquote sleep patches, but those patches all have herbals or Benadryl or some other melatonin or some substance on it. You're just not taking it orally, it's absorbing through the skin. And those people are not doing placebo controlled, double blinded, IRB approved studies.
Right.
So there really is no comparison between those and the super patch because the others have not done their studies and again are relying on pharmaceutical angles to help you sleep as opposed to this is physical
Yeah. They're
therapy
they're they're
biofeedback.
in, they're ingesting it just through the skin instead of
Understand?
the mouth, and
Yes. Yeah.
and and
So it's
and
pharmacy. They're engaged in pharmacy and super patch is not pharmacy. It's physical therapy biofeedback. That's what you need to know. And most people, when they think biofeedback, they think they need to do something interactive. But that's the beauty of this technology is that you don't actually have to do anything interactive to get the biofeedback loop working. It automatically happens. And all of these patches, and eventually we're going to cover all of the patches, but they all get to the brain in the same pathway, and they all are constantly engaged in a parasympathetic biofeedback loop without you needing to do anything. So as long as it's on your skin, It's communicating with the central aspect of your brain automatically. You don't have to do anything about it, and it's not going to overshoot. It just gets it to normal. Like, you're not going to get so parasympathetic you're unconscious or any of those weird things like that. It just kind of
Right.
brings you into the perfect state of restfulness, and that is the beauty of the technology.
And any benefit from putting 2 patches on?
They say no. I will say this. Okay, this is what I'm going to tell you. And my mother is visiting this weekend, so don't tell her I said this, because first of all, you should not need 2 patches. You shouldn't. 1 patch has been shown on EEG studies to get you there. Okay. Now, I will say this. The way these patches work is it's going to go through your skin to your spinal cord, up the spinal column. It's going to cross over to the other side and get into the central part of your brain. That's just how sensations work. There are some people, depending on where they put it on their bodies, what their neurologic status is, that crossover is better on one side than it is the other side. Okay, so it is possible if you have better sensation on one side than the other. Maybe you had a skin injury or a burn, you had surgery somewhere. That crossover, maybe it won't happen as well if you put it on the right hand as you do the left hand. And those people will all say, I need 1 on each side. You might have high functioning athletes who use the victory patch, and they can tell the difference when there's one just on one side, because that is a finely tuned athlete. Right. So there are some people who swear by you got to have 2, 1 on each side of the body to balance things out, but the rim patch is not in that category.
Yeah.
I think that probably applies more towards the functional ones, such as the Liberty patch and the Victory patch.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe even the pain patch. And it kind of depends. Like, you have a sister with MS, right? So it is possible that on one side of the body from day to day doesn't work quite as well as the other side, and then it flips around when you have MS.
Sure.
So it's possible.
And it could be where the neurological damage is, right? And so is it crossing? Does it have a better pathway on the left, the right, or maybe both? But that's a great
so that
thought behind it. And then, so then what do? We'll try something out. We'll move it, and then we'll get feedback.
And I've had some patients who on the rim patch will wear it and say it doesn't work. Now, let me tell you something. I've never had someone truly it not work. So if you say, I don't think that thing works, something went wrong. And I have found that if you choose a piece of skin that is super loose, and so these tend to be women, they put it right here because it's easy to access. This skin is super loose, and that patch is going to kind of melt off as the time goes by and not make contact anymore. So you are kind of better off using forearm or like the thighs, something where the skin's a little more adherent. And it's a
little more tight,
tighter,
right?
A little
tighter.
Yes. So if you put on a rim patch and you think, underwhelmed. Oh, really? Choose a different piece of skin. Choose one that's got a little more, like, it's kind of, that's a nice smooth. It's not flopping around. It's not big old
tight hair.
And at night, it doesn't get sweaty, so it's not going to sweat off. Choose that piece of skin. You know, and then alternate it around if you have to as time goes on. And I think you will find especially within a few days.
Or if you've, just got done with a Red Bull or
you're not
a cup of coffee, or right. So there is that.
Yes.
We have to set the expectation.
Yes, you can't be pumped up on the caffeine. Put away your methamphetamines and your cocaine. You're on the border, right? Tell all those guys next to you in the hotel room who are struggling or who are smuggling drugs, right? They can't sleep at night. I'm sure that shit touches their skin and they can't sleep. But so you don't want to be doing a stimulant, which means you don't want the TV on, you don't want the radio on, you don't want the lights on, you don't want it too hot, you don't want it too cold. Like, I mean, this is sleep hygiene.
Right.
And because there's no drug in this patch, you can't overcome those types of things.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
not
it's not going to supersede
no.
what's going on in the environment,
Yeah.
i.e., it's
Sound.
going to override that the TV's on, you've been looking at your phone, playing a game, you
Right.
got blue light crashing at you.
Yeah. Yes. Or
And then you go,
whatever,
I don't know why, but I have difficulty sleeping. Well,
yeah. And it doesn't work. So you do have to be minding your sleep hygiene. And but if you do, these patches will organize your brain the way it's supposed to be organized when it's ready by time. And so
catch us,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Kind of
exactly.
like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it may take a while for you to have good sleep hygiene, because if you're accustomed to the TV being on and kids coming and going and the phone ringing constantly and text messages and all that kind of stuff, it may take you a while to detox from that. Has nothing to do with the patch,
Right.
you know?
But it also, you maybe you've found yourself that you get into this exhaustion stage where you fall asleep with the TV on and your phone next to you, and or that it will, if you shut all those things down and you're using the patch and you allow the patch to start actively working,
Yes. Yep.
then you're going to go, wow, that was a lot easier than I have had in the past, right? Because they might say, I've done all that, it doesn't work. Well, the thing that we're going to change now is we're going to add the REM patch to your program.
Yes.
And we're going to see success. So I would love people to, when they watch this, drop us a line, drop it in the
100%.
chat, give us some feedback on our channel, and talk about some of the successes that they've had with it, because that's really important. I know my dad is taking it and he is sleeping better, because
my husband doesn't listen to a single thing that I say, Rob. Like, he's so cute. I have videos that have been watched a million times. People from around the world will ask me questions and they hang on every word I say. Steve, not so much. No, but
he's not impressed.
Like, it doesn't matter what vitamin was, it's not dietary. He listens to none of it. And I slapped a REM patch on him and he slept, and he's like, okay, that one works. Like, yeah, it works.
So you're 1 for 1,000 right now. I mean, I think that
if Super Patch can convince my husband, then I'm telling you, it works.
The ultimate naysayer, right?
Ultimate. He's military. You know those guys. I mean, look at yourself.
I'm with them in the hotel here. They're all.
Yeah. They trust no one. Trust no one. But he will, I mean, we travel with that Super Patch. He wears it like, he will not go anywhere without that Super Patch. And because it works.
Can we get him to do an adverb?
I don't know, maybe.
That would be funny.
I'll apply some whiskey in him.
Just a little snippet.
You know what? He's very to himself and shy. I don't think he's ever done a video publicly, ever. He does not.
That's why he's in anesthesia and he has a drape up. Right?
He's
like,
what you think? The drape is up. Yeah.
Drape is up. Drape is up. Patience down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's doing his thing. He's like,
that's right.
He's got his dials and his medicines and he's clicking there. He's doing his thing. He doesn't want to get involved. He has no social media, which is almost unheard of. I think I made him open a Facebook account like 15 years ago. He's never posted a single thing. 15 years.
That's me though. Yeah. I was that way. They taught you that. It was like, when I first had my corporate job, my boss at the time goes, need a LinkedIn. I go, why do I need a LinkedIn? Well, then people can know about you. I go, why do I want people to know about me?
Yeah. Why?
I go, all the people that know me already know me.
Yeah, they already know me.
So
that's all I need to know. That is Stephen. And because he's not in a job like yours where you're having to connect a lot of people and that
right.
sort of thing.
Because that was like totally new for me.
Yeah.
That was like that was a very uncomfortable moment.
I don't know if he would do a video, but I can ask him.
How about a covert video?
Okay.
Get your daughter involved or something. Just to go, hey, we're out of REM patches, and see what he says.
Oh, okay.
Just like he goes, see if you can get him to go, what? You have to have some.
Yeah, you got
something, just something where he does, yeah, just to catch a little panic and then go, oh, no one, I got one in the pain pouch here.
Yes, let's see, here you go.
Something like that. Something just to catch that little snippet of him going, like, I need that,
Yeah, well, he's in Australia right now as we speak on an airplane. I can guarantee that thing is affixed to his skin so he can take a nap. 100%. Guarantee that.
So REM patch, peace patch. What would you do on an airplane?
I do them both actually.
Okay. Well, you put peace on all the time because
I'm a 24/7 peace person because I'm tightly wound. But I have found, and this is interesting, and this is off label, and this has nothing to do, and this is not coming from the company, and this is not what they suggest. I'm just telling you, me personally. I was wearing a blood sugar monitor for about 6 months just to kind of figure out, because I was designing a blood sugar product for somebody, and I'm not diabetic. My A1C is, not the best, but it's not diabetic. So,
right.
And I just assumed because I'm a sugarholic that it's dessert that drives up my blood sugar. As it turns out, that's not what drives up my blood sugar. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I have a blood sugar spike that will last for about 6 or 7 hours as I'm, in theory, sleeping. And I have found that if I'm wearing both a REM and a peace patch, that is greatly blunted, which just tells me it is the stress that drives up that blood sugar and is that blood sugar spike that says, oh, it's good morning time. It's time to wake up. You don't need to sleep, which is why I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and then can't go back to sleep.
Right. Right. Well, because you turned on the car and you revved it up and you,
and now that's it.
And now you're going like, no, turn the car off. No.
Right. So in my personal case, I wear them both to sleep. Personally. And then in the morning I take off the REM patch, but the peace patch stays on. And so on a plane, I basically wore them both by accident because we were traveling and I, we only got like 4 hours of sleep in the hotel, slept well, threw on clothes, went through the air. This is in Athens. Went through the airport, checked our luggage, was done, get on the plane, had breakfast with Steve. We sat down, kind of read a magazine, load on the plane, and then like literally within sitting there thinking, I should probably take a nap because we have a layover and we're going to Germany. I got to have like a 2 hour. Let's see if I can get an hour-long nap. I mean, I was
right.
I was out like that. I thought, damn, I must have been really tired. And then I realized, oh, I got a white one and a blue one on. I'm still wearing my REM patch. And I just left it like that because I was totally functioning, going through customs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah, you got a lot of sensories going in and it's keeping you awake.
I didn't fall asleep waiting for the airplane. And all of a sudden the airplane left without me or any of those horror stories, So to me, traveling, those two are now my go-to, even if I'm taking a long trip.
Yeah.
Just is.
Well, and the thing is you just take them off. If you're not, that's I think the best thing about the product is I could literally keep the boost patch on all the way up to where I jump in bed.
Yeah. And then it's done.
And pull it off. Yep. And then
boom.
Have already had the REM on.
Yeah.
And then now get into, TV off, chill.
Yep. It's a thing of beauty. It's going to change medicine as we know it. But I think as long as people kind of, because if you just say, oh, it's a patch with nothing on it, you stick it to your skin and you fall asleep, that sounds like elfin magic. And people are like, bullshit. That's not how that works. And that is not how that works. I mean, it legitimately is engaged in biofeedback. It just does so in a very unique way, utilizing all the normal pathways that your body was built with. It's just the first time someone ever figured out, oh my gosh, we could actually use this pathway for this purpose. Boom,
Right.
put it on the sticker. That's it.
Thank you.
It's all known science.
Thank you, piezo-ion channels, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the known science is being used here, and the science predates the device by 20 years. So it's not like a new concept. It's just like everything in the engineering world, you take a known fact and you apply it in a unique way.
You have to figure out a delivery system.
Delivery system. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's known science, new delivery system. And because it doesn't require batteries, as a lot of these sleep aid biofeedback things do, all of a sudden you've got an inexpensive answer for a problem that's as old as humanity, right? So that's
Right.
the beauty of it.
And understanding the sleep market, there's no shortage of people out there
Every person is part of the
looking
condition
to have
a
a
better night.
better night's sleep. I mean, you see it on the
Yeah.
news channels from
Yep.
Relaxium and
Yes.
right, and melatonin,
Melatonin.
and all of the other
100%.
different concoctions that
Yep.
are
Mhm.
out there.
But they're all chemicals.
They're all chemicals.
And you can't control the side effects, and you can't turn it on and off. It's working, not working. Right? The second you take it off your skin, it's
Right,
over.
right.
Yeah,
On,
this is beautiful. On, off.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. It's on, it's off. So, anyway. So that's sleep.
There we go. So that's one of 12.
12, probably. He's
Right?
coming out with more too, all the
I
time.
know. Well, we're gonna
Inch our way through it.
move through the 12 before they
Yes, before they come out with
start adding more
Yes.
out there. But
Yes.
I think it's, if someone is watching this and they want to sign up,
Mhm.
it's $40 to get then a discount. I mean, if
Yeah.
you think of, it's a membership. Costco has a membership.
Yes.
The Bass Pro Shop has a membership. Every single
Your
organization,
American Express card is a membership.
right,
Yeah.
every single organization, even the different if you want the IKEA and all these different areas to help you, that literally gets you into a discounted program. Or you go, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to try it. $60.
Yes.
Yes.
$60 a day.
$2 for a night sleep.
That's not bad. $2 is not bad.
That will help save you a $8 coffee the next day.
100%. So $2 a day without the discount, basically. And the discount is 25% off.
Right.
So if you get the little membership thing now, ad infinitum, 25% off.
Right.
And then if you decide you like it that much, and you're like, this is freaking amazing, I want to share it with friends, this just in, you can turn it into your own business. And as people and that you share it with buy, you get paid, which means you may not have to pay for your patches at all. And there are
Right.
some people who make a living selling this, just like they would own a franchise of any other kind of franchise. So it is a fascinating company, the way that it's set up. The technology, this is non-comparable to any other technology. And then if you've got a business attitude about yourself,
right,
open your
or you
own.
just have a lot of friends that don't sleep well.
Yeah. But we're going to go over all the 12 different things that this thing.
Right.
Like
I guarantee you, when we get through all 12, when I've introduced it to people, they start naming names.
Yes.
And it's funny because they go, oh, my boss at work, he needs the peace patch. Oh,
yes.
this person, Joy. Oh, this definitely,
Yes.
they would, yeah. No, give me the focus. Give me, you know, I mean, they
Yes.
literally start
They
piecemealing.
know. But every bodily function that's controlled by the parasympathetic nervous system that is not working in you because you're living in a stressful sympathetic world is going to benefit from this patch. Right down to, there's a hormonal control one. He's coming up with a blood sugar one. Like, name it in the autonomic nervous system, that if you have a symptom in a pathway, we can address those symptoms by putting you in the parasympathetic. It is not going to treat a disease. We're not diagnosing disease. We're taking
We're not curing it.
not curing anything. No, you're not curing anything. You're taking a symptom that you have. Why do you have that symptom? You have that symptom because the stressful world has put you into a fight or flight state. And until you get out of that state, you are always going to have this symptom. Cool. So let's get you out of that state, put you in the restful state. And now all of a sudden we can get you out of a symptom. And the second you pull the patch off, boop, you're back in, the fighting Irish position, right? It's just,
Right.
that's the way it works. So we're just taking advantage of normal physiology with these patches. It does not diagnose or treat anything. And you shouldn't say, Dr. Toker, I've got diabetes, which patch will be good for me? It's not going to treat a disease. That's not how that happens. If you have a symptom, you have a pain, you can't sleep, you can't focus, you're depressed, you have anxiety, now we can help you because those are symptoms.
Yeah.
So you're only treating a symptom, like a Band-Aid, like crutches. It's a temporary patch job of a symptom, but you know what? That's how most of our over-the-counter medications are taken for the same reasons. You got to take an aspirin.
Of course.
Yeah.
If you have an allergy,
take a
what
Benadryl.
do? You block, it's a histamine blocker.
Yeah.
So the minute you stop taking the allergy pill and you still have the environmental allergy, i.e. a cat in front of you, okay, then those symptoms are going to come back and you're going to start sneezing and having watery eyes and.
Yeah, so that's not a failure of the technology just because it's not curing anything. It's not supposed to. It's simply managing a symptom, and it's managing that symptom in a very unique way. That's the part that's unique, is the way it manages the symptom. So anyway. All right. So next time, which one are we going to talk about next time? What do y'all want to talk about?
What did we talk? Are we going to talk about pain?
We can talk about pain or peace. Which one do you want to talk about?
Pain or peace?
Either one.
I think let's maybe talk about the pain.
Okay, we'll talk about the pain. The pain is how I got introduced to the Super Patch. So I'm very happy to talk about that. All right, we'll talk about it next time.
Okay. See you, everybody.
Bye.
Until next time on the Super Happy Hour. Robert Greer, Dr. Toker.
Yes, sir.
Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
You have a super happy weekend. How does that sound?
All right. I love it. Bye.
All right. Bye.